You got the recording?
Yes.
Here's Reverend Bill with your God Call.
You are at choice in the experience of life that you're creating. And I'll give you an example. The word blast. If somebody says you're going to have a blast, you can either think about a wonderful party that is more fun than you could imagine, or the icy mass of air that's headed in from the north, or a forceful explosion. It is your choice to use your understanding to shape the experience that's coming into your life next. And while you're doing it, have a blast.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. When the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. When the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be.
Thank you, Anna. That is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And good morning, New Thought, Philadelphia. It is the fifth Sunday of the month, which is unusual, only happens about 4 times a year. And that means that it is a healing celebration. So we turn our attention to the healing power of the divine and open ourselves to that goodness. We'll do a little bit of a practice partway through. Joe is going to talk to us about the healing process. And we get to set an intention and invite in an experience of healing for ourselves. So we will be lighting a candle for our new intention. If you have a candle nearby, then you get to light it. If you don't have a candle on hand, I have some here, which I will light remotely, and you can have yourself a virtual candle. You guys know the rules when we're on Zoom. Keep yourself muted except when we're going to be sharing or talking all together. So go ahead and unmute right now so you can repeat after me. Love is at hand.
Love
Love is
is
at
at
hand.
hand.
I open myself to love.
I
open
open
myself
myself
to
to
love.
love.
Divine goodness is here,
Divine goodness is here.
and I let it be my truth.
I let it be
Let
my
it
truth.
be the truth.
And so it is.
So it is.
So it
Hey,
is.
mute yourself one more time as I remind you that New Thought Philadelphia is an open and loving community of spiritual adventurers, welcoming each person to experience their divine nature in an empowering space of unconditional love. Whatever path you've been on, whatever brought you to our Zoom today, wherever you're heading next, we have been expecting you. Welcome home. Pretty simple what we believe around here. I mean, you don't have to. It's just convenient as we have a starting point. We believe there's one power, love, intelligence, or force that creates everything, including each of us, and that we're each using that same power, love, intelligence, or force to create our lives according to our beliefs. The way we like to say it around here, your new life begins with a new thought. If you have an extra electronic device that's not important or relevant for the Zoom celebration, go ahead and turn it off or put it on shush or put it outside the room or drop kick it as though you're going to be playing for the Eagles or whatever you want to do for that so that we can turn our attention within for the next hour or so. I'm Bill Marchiony, the spiritual director at New Thought Philadelphia. Our music today is Anna Varsniak, who is joining us from England. So it's afternoon there. She can tell us how the day is going so far. The talk, as I mentioned, is going to be Joe Catanzaro, RSCP, and our practitioner today is Jesus Baez, RSCP, who's going to begin us the way we begin everything, with a practical prayer. Jesus.
Thank you, Rev. It's about our hearts to the one person, one God that saturated this celebration with love, joy, peace, harmony. It's ours here, right now. The truth is in us. It's through us. Surround us. As us. It is us. We are the way. We are the life. Even the truth got to be recognized and realized and imagine it and believe it and know it. It's always knocking in our hearts and minds. Keep our hearts open, our minds open to the truth. And the truth will celebrate with us. And we with the truth. Because we live in the truth, we move in the truth, and we have our essence in truth. When I say truth, saying God. Say love is God. Peace is God. All is God. It's God through the talk, through the music, through the reading, through the flames of faith, the announcement. All is God revealing himself in this celebration. The timeless, going through time. But healing comes instantly. When we let go of people, places, and things, and be unified in the one presence. Let go of cars, houses, all things. Lose that attachment to things, to people, to places. Say we gotta die before we can live. Die to that old self and let that new self flourish in this celebration. United, each one of us here. We live in the web of unification with the one person, one source, the infinite creator. It's creating this moment here now. Through all things, with peace and joy. Got gratitude in my heart for that God in me, in each one here. I got appreciation and the willingness to get up and try again, one day at a time. one moment, 1 second, beholding the beauty of God that's in each one of us here. And with gratitude, my heart, let my prayer be known to the one source, the Lord God. So it is. Amen.
So it
Yes.
is. Amen. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah. And as you guys know, the reason that we do a practical prayer is not because it gets us God points, although maybe it does. It's because it changes the experience that we're having in life. So we get to share some of the experiences we've been having. If you got something you've been bringing into prayer lately and you have a prayer work story that you'd like to share, go ahead and do that. I am in the beginnings of a practitioner class, the personal practitioner series, and it is always fascinating to watch what happens when a group of high consciousnesses get together and rub against each other. There's some friction, there's some warmth, and there's some growth, which is absolutely spectacular. I had an experience myself. My friend Martha Creek, who you guys have met before, does every year an extraordinary leaders group. And it's kind of pricey, includes a retreat in Kentucky someplace. And I decided that it is time for me to take part in this group and set the intention that all of the funding and the pieces were going to come together easily. And I put in an application for the Extraordinary Support Project at Anton, and I got an 85% scholarship. So it is. Love when that happens. Love when that happens. Anybody else have a prayer work story that you'd like to share? Go ahead and wave your hand or raise your digital hand and have a chance to do that. Breen Rourke.
I had my eye on a play that doing a Players Club Swarthmore. Auditions were yesterday. I prepared very well. And my prayer was to just have a great audition, because that's really what I want to do. Although I want to get a part, but I want to have a great audition. And I did have a great audition. Got a call back on the spot for tomorrow night for the role that I want. So moving along.
Nice. Prayer works. I love when that happens. Anybody else a prayer work story that you would like to give voice to? All right, then. We will shift immediately into the announcements. If you got a kazoo nearby, let's go ahead and herald in Karen with the announcements.
This pumpkin spiced information is on the website at newthoughtphilly.org. Sign up there for the weekly e-newsletter so we can keep in touch. Join one of our 15-minute meditations on Zoom. They happen twice every day, and are inspiring, fun, and quick. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings this week are also on Insight Timer Live. The Practical Prayer podcast this week is Interrupting Karma with Carol and Reverend Bill. Beyond Limits is on Thursday evenings beginning October 17th. It's our introductory class to New Thought Principles, and it's transformational and it is open to all. Spiritual, but not religious, is on Tuesday, October 22nd from 7 to 8 p.m. It's part of our ongoing series on New Thought Principles and Practices on Zoom and on Insight Timer. Reverend Bill talks about connecting with our spiritual selves without the rules or church supervision. Tune out the fear, tune in the vision. For 100 days leading up to the election, we are cultivating a special mindfulness practice to raise the vibration for all involved. To take part, text JOIN to the number on the website. Reverend Bill gives a message on Thursday. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Insight Timer, and YouTube. Follow, subscribe, and like and share, and join the 1,907 spiritual adventurers in our group on meetup.com. We are always grateful for your financial support. You can make tax-deductible donations by Zelle, Cash App, check, PayPal, Venmo, credit, or debit card. And thank you to the team that makes our celebrations work and has fun doing it too. We get together before the celebration to put the pieces in order. To join the joy, contact our volunteer coordinator. Now, next Sunday online with Where Two or More Are Gathered, Reverend Bill speaks from Unity Village about how joining together with others can multiply and accelerate the power of prayer. Live music is by Deb Chamberlain. The practitioners are available for professional sessions by appointment. And after the celebration today, Jesus is available for a quick miracle in a minute prayer. We'll leave the Zoom meeting open after the celebration for casual conversation. Please join us.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, thank you. And we have, when we get together in person, we have a special gift and a blessing for the people who join us for the second time. And we always have a blessing and a warm welcome for people who are joining us for the first time. Benjamin, I'm not sure that we've seen you before. If you would care to, you can go ahead and receive this blessing. If there's anybody else who is either here for the first time or feels like they're here for the first time, go ahead and accept this blessing as well. The rest of us are going to rub our hands together to feel the warmth and feel the love. Just accept that. You are the bright light of God's love. Thank you, thank you, thank you for shining that light and sharing that love with us today. And welcome. As we do our next song, go ahead and make eye contact with the people we're in community with, because the connection in community is so rich and so powerful. If you're on a computer and you can go into gallery view, just be able to look into people's eyes. And if you're on a device where you have to switch between views, go ahead and do that. And Anna's going to sing for us as we do.
Don't you worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't you worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds pitched by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Don't you worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds pitched by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, singing, this is my message to you. Don't you worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds pitched doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, singing, this is my message to you. Don't you worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with a rising sun. 3 little bears peace by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, singing, this is my message to you. Don't you worry about a thing, sing with me, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't you worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you all. It's wonderful. We're going to do the Flames of Faith now. And Hannah is lighting the Flames of Faith. And before we start, Hannah, we last touched base on Thursday evening as the hurricane, Helene, I guess, was heading towards Tallahassee, Florida, where you grew up and your family still lives. And the family was heading for the high school. So I just wanted to check in and see how everybody's doing before we do the Flames. Hannah? Interesting. All right. Anybody happen to have a copy of the Flames of Faith script nearby? I have it, but here we go. There it is. We perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faiths come from the one power, love, intelligence, which we call Spirit or God. We honor the richness that comes from our shared diversity and bless the interwoven energy of the divine feminine and masculine. We light the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the earth-based traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone or any place you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love. Blessed be. We have a healing reading today, and it's going to be brought to us by Nia, and it is from You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay.
Yes. So You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. Loving the self. No matter what their problem seems to be, there is only one thing I ever work on with anyone, and that is loving the self. Love is the miracle cure. Loving ourselves works miracles in our lives. I am not talking about vanity or arrogance or being stuck up, for that is not love. It is only fear. I am talking about having a great respect for ourselves and a gratitude for the miracle of our bodies and our minds. Love, to me, is appreciation to such a degree that it fills my heart to bursting and overflows. Love can go in any direction. I can feel love for the very process of life itself, the joy of being alive, the beauty I see, another person, knowledge, the process of the mind, our bodies, and the way they work, animals, birds, fish, vegetation in all forms, the universe, and the way it works. What can you add to this list? Let's look at some of the ways we don't love ourselves. We scold and criticize ourselves endlessly. We mistreat our bodies with food, alcohol, and drugs. We choose to believe we are unlovable. We are afraid to charge a decent price for our services. We create illnesses and pain in our bodies. We procrastinate on things that would benefit us. We live in chaos and disorder. We create debt and burdens. We attract lovers and mates who belittle us. What are some of your ways? If we deny our good in any way, it is an act of not loving ourselves. I remember a client I worked with who wore glasses. One day we released an old fear from childhood. The next day she awakened to find her contact lenses were bothering her too much to wear. She looked around and found her eyesight was perfectly clear. Yet she spent the whole day saying, "I don't believe it. I don't believe it." The next day, she was back to wearing contacts. Our subconscious mind has no sense of humor. She couldn't believe she had created perfect eyesight.
People get ready, there's a train that coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear that Jesus humming. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord, yeah. People get ready, there's a train to Jordan, picking up passengers from coast to coast. Faith is the key, open the doors and walk them. There's room for all the loved and lost, yeah. Now there ain't no room for the hopeless sinner, but had all mankind just to save his own. Have pity on those whose chances are thinner, 'cause 'cause there's no hiding place from the king on his throne. Yeah, people get ready, there's a train coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear that Jesus humming. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord, yeah. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord, yeah.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. Thank you. So as I mentioned before, it's the fifth Sunday of the month. That's a healing Sunday. And in New Thought and metaphysics, healing is not fixing broken things. Healing is the revealing of the truth. It is love unfolding. It is the return to our natural state of being. And I'm not going to talk about that today. That doesn't mean we're not going to hear about it today. It's because Joe is going to talk about it today. Joe came to us, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago and remarked that she had spent time on every one of the flames and the flames of faith and settled her candle with us. And she brings a wonderful richness and insight to the techniques, the practices, and the principles that tie all of the flames and all of us together. So, Joe Catanzaro.
Thank you, Bill. So, good morning, everyone. Glad to be here. Healing Sunday is always a way for us to get back to basics and reconnect with that underlying truth that I'll talk a little bit more about because it's related to healing. And it's a lovely celebration, but I always wonder how many different ways can we talk about healing? So here I am, going to take another stab at this. And it's a topic that is really near and dear to my heart because, as many of you know, I'm a nurse. So becoming a practitioner, a religious science practitioner, because I was already a practitioner, was just a natural next step. I've always tried to combine the body, mind, spirit, the holistic approach. And I learned that early on in my career that there really is no separation. And I don't mean separation from us and that greater one. I just mean internally, body, mind, spirit are all together. It's really hard to separate it. We tried, to kind of prove that. There has been some research in, physical versus non-physical healing. There's been some work done with that. Even the work of Norman Cousins, when he talked about laughter is the best medicine and how he cured it, I think it was heart disease. He kind of corrected it with using laughter. It's just a testament. So I've always been fascinated by that. And because, as you may have heard, we are human beings. Wait a minute, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And you don't have a soul, you are a soul. You have a body. So it's interesting that we can't always tease apart what happens with the mind and how does that affect the body and how does spirit come into all of this. And it occurred to me that maybe we can't tease it apart and sort of separate like what does what, because it is all one. And that's why we can't figure it out. But maybe we'll get there someday. Maybe it's just the way that that principle of oneness is demonstrated. So comes back down to that. I think Bill just said it. Healing is the revealing of the truth. So as a professional nurse, I have been trained to evaluate research and to utilize what's called evidence-based practice, meaning that whatever I do I have to have some kind of evidence in the literature to support that says, yes, this really worked. This is correct. So I've been sort of trained and educated to believe that facts without evidence are just an opinion. And there are experts and there are experts. And there's gold standard level of evidence and there's junk science. And caveat emptor, the buyer, let the buyer beware. Whether we want to invest our faith, whether we want to invest our money, we have to decide how and who, where we're gonna put that. So all of this is kind of a reference point for the story that I want to share with you today. I want to present what I call a case study of a healing that I think is a really interesting example of New Thought principles that is not at all connected to New Thought. It's that those principles of truth and oneness and healing. And I find it compelling because it's not based in New Thought. It's the story of Lester Levinson, who lived in New York City around the same time that Ernest Holmes was on the lecture circuit in Manhattan, talking about science of mind and promoting it. But there's absolutely no evidence that Lester had anything to do with Ernest Holmes. Yet, when you read some of his work, it's really interesting. So let me tell you a little bit more about this guy. Lester was born in Elizabeth, New Jersey in 1909. He described himself as shy and driven to succeed, meaning he wanted to do it right. He wanted to be a good son and a good person and a good worker and a good student. And, you know, he was really had that mindset to like always do his best with everything. He was really smart. He was really intelligent. He graduated from Rutgers in 1931, I think, at the age of 22, having gotten a scholarship when scholarships were almost unheard of. He majored in physics. He was an engineer. He was a designer. He was a businessman. He was a self-made millionaire. Yet he was living the great life in Manhattan. Yet he was physically ill and pretty miserable. He had migraines. He was in analysis with some protege of Freud. He had gastric problems, ulcers, and just was really miserable. In 1952, at the age of 42, he had his second massive heart attack. And they just told him, no, there were no special drugs. There were no fancy surgical procedures at the time. They said, sorry, there's nothing we can do for you. Go home, put your affairs in order, have maybe 3 weeks to 3 months. Oh, and don't take a step anywhere unless you absolutely positively have to, because you're going to drop at any time. So he goes home and he thinks, all of this knowledge, all of this wonderful stuff I have in my life isn't doing me any good. What's really going on here? So he started to think about things, and he realized, I'm going to read a little bit about some of what he's written. He realized that when he was loving, he was happiest. The happiness equated to being loving rather than being loved. He realized that God is within us all, that we are infinite beings with no limitations. And he started to feel happier and freer and lighter. And he lived until 1994. He defied all the odds that were against him and lived another 40, almost 42 years. And in that time, what he did was he put together, he kept working on this whole concept that being loving is the key to being happy. He thought about, what is happiness? Who am I? What am I? What is the purpose of all this? Questions we've kind of heard before, but he really pieced it together. He ended up moving to Sedona, and he was actually teaching his process. to people. He would have small classes and teach workshops. And actually, one of his students who had phenomenal, as they call, gains or progress with this work, sort of put this whole process together, and it's now called the release technique. I stumbled upon the release technique a few years before I stumbled upon New Thought Philadelphia. So I want to put that in context. This is where I came across the story. And I'm not trying to push the process. I really just wanted to talk about Lester because it struck me when after I learned about him and the process, and then I met ran into New Thought. It's like, wow, I've heard this before. And it's always intriguing to me to come across the same thing in different places. And I loved the practicality of it. So I wanted to use what happened with Lester sort of as that case study. And I want to read a couple more of his quotes because I think they're really useful. Real love, divine love, is a feeling of beingness with no expectations of receiving something for it in return. Lester described shutting out the world and turning within and finding your inner self, which he called beingness, because that is the divine, that God lives within each one of us. Where have we heard that before? The only method of receiving love is to give love, because what we give out must come back. The self, with a capital S, has no qualities, no ability, and no actions. It is unqualified and unlimited beingness. Happiness is equal to one's capacity to love. So he demonstrated that, when he realized he was trying to control things, he was trying to get approval, he wanted to be safe. Wanting that was the basis of all his misery. And when you can release that and go into beingness and understand that we are really, truly limitless beings, all of that drops away. And he demonstrated that with curing himself. Now, Lester didn't write a lot. He didn't write his process down. There's books about his life and quotes of his, but he did not write it down. So a lot of this comes from the people that continue his work. And continuing his work, they don't talk much about the divine aspect of all this. They don't talk about what we call the metaphysics of it. They're focused on putting this process together to help people because that's what Lester wanted to do. And yes, it's become their business. So, again, trying to put it in context and separate. When you read what Lester really had to say, it's really interesting, and you really get to the essence and the heart of it. So that's my little case study. Let's pick it apart a little bit. It's a case study of one. Typically, we like to see, there's a lot of numbers in a research study to say, yeah, this really works. It's only an observational. Well, we have one person and we're observing what happens to them. But that one person was really sick. Was told he was going to die very quickly. And he actually lived another 42 years. And he had complete mental and physical function. So there's no experimental arm, there's no randomization, but it's still interesting. And when you put it together with some of the other similar stories, case studies, whatever you want to call them, similar incidences, it's just really interesting. And it always surprises me when I can take a few more steps along the path and see the repetition, see the same results from different places. It just gives me some positive feedback that I'm on the right path. And I like the practicality of it. It's really easy to get wrapped up in your head and say, oh, well, there's no proof for that. But again, take it with a grain of salt. Believe what, as Ernest Holmes said, what Lester said. believe it, use it, and try it, and believe it. It's another commonality that I ran into was Lester believed that there was one mind. It's all one mind, that every single one of us are connected. So did Ernest Holmes. So did Nikola Tesla. So did Einstein. So you keep running into that. And that's what I find interesting about it. So healing, Lester revealed the healing, the truth of who we are or who he was, and produced a healing. So it's another little piece to say, we're on the right track. Keep following it. And that's about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you so much. And I'm going to light a candle here. Before we start this part of the process, I want to remind you that the candle itself has no particular power. We use that as an anchor point for ourselves. And we're going to start by spending a couple of minutes in meditation. And we heard the story about Lester Levinson. And there are a lot of other stories about people who were either sick for a long time or were told that they had a terminal illness and it was over. And then wound up turning their attention to the healing power of the infinite and had a transformation. I mean, that's the story of Myrtle Fillmore, who was one of the founders of the Unity movement. She was always the sick kid. And then she realized that there's no illness in God. And she put all of her attention into that and had a healing and such transformation in her life that got her husband to kind of get out of the real estate business and get into the spiritual business with her and founded the Unity movement and other people who have done the same sorts of things. And it's not, oh, wow, look at what happens for those people. That's something that we can do ourselves. So as we mentioned, healing is not fixing something broken. Healing is the revealing of the truth. And the truth for Lester Levinson was that he was not the sick guy who always had the problems and was going to die early of a heart attack. It turns out when he opened himself to love that there was a new possibility. So we're going to spend a couple of minutes in meditation now. And what I invite you to do is we're going to turn away from the specifics and the situations and the circumstances that we're in and open ourselves up to a new possibility. We're going to allow ourselves to let go of the tether of what's happened up until now, consider a new possibility, and open ourselves to it. So let yourself be aware of some area in your life that has not been to your complete satisfaction up until now. I'm not going to dwell on the problem, just to understand what it is. And understand that it's not necessary. The problem is not necessary. Each of us is a divine expression of the infinite. We're having the experience that we're having. And we have had the experience that we have had up until now. And what happens next has not already been determined. There's the possibility to head in a new direction. There's the possibility for uplift, for complete transformation. Take a deep, full breath. Let yourself be filled completely. And then let it go. And with that breath, let go of attachment to things being the way you thought they were going to be. Let go of the idea that there's a continuation necessary. Another deep breath. Invite in something brand new. Let yourself be filled with it. And as good as that is, let it go. It has come to pass. And continue breathing in a way that's comfortable for you. And as we go into the quiet together, allow yourself to be inspired, guided, informed as to what that next new possibility is for you. The past is our guidance, but not our steering system. It's telling us how we got here, maybe. In any case, telling us that we got here. And what's next is an infinite possibility. Let's open to that in the quiet for a couple of minutes.
The candle reminds us
We're going to take that intention. We're going to take that desire, that newness that we're inviting, and we're going to allow ourselves to activate it. If you have a candle nearby, then while Anna is playing this next selection, light the candle and allow that to be the representation of this newness that's being invited into your life. And if you don't have a candle, then go ahead and let yourself use one of the candles that I will light on our behalf. Anna?
Is it my turn?
It is.
Okay. Keep that light lit with the oil of life. With the intention. And now, your prayers, your meditation, your openness to this goodness, this abundance. Each one of us had that light within. The candle represents that light of your soul, of your body, of your mind. Perfect God, perfect man, perfect being. Healing comes with time. The timeless. It's a paradox. It's a process, but it comes instantly. When we have complete unification with the one, I and God are one. Everything else, we let it go. When we let go of who we are, we become all that we can be. That's healing. Revealing that God within, which is truth, love, and peace. Embody it, embrace it, feel it, imagine, believe it, and above all, know it. It's your birthright. It's our birthright. Take another deep breath in. Let it go. Come back to the celebration. And now, as Anna play this next beautiful song for us.
You've been through so much, so many ups and downs. You've given your love, but never liked the way it turned out. You closed off your heart, and you carried the weight like a million rocks on your shoulders. But you don't have to wait for an apology or for someone else to make amends. But you can remember that your healing is in your hands. Just let it go, inch by inch, just let it go. And do it again, just let it go. One day you'll see, just let it go. You've set yourself free. You've been used, you've been abused. Someone came along who didn't value you. You carried the weight of your heart like a million rocks on your shoulders. But life isn't meant to be perfect, and you won't always win. But you can remember that your healing is in your hands. Just let it go, inch by inch, just let it go. You set yourself free, just let it go. You set yourself free. Give it a roll. You put your blinders on when you looked around. All of your friends were gone. You took the fall, and you carried their weight like a million rocks on your shoulders. Just let it go, inch by inch. Just let it go, and do it again. Just let it go. One day you'll see. Just let it go. You set yourself free. Just let it go. Inch by inch. Just let it go, and do it again. Just let it go. One day you'll see. Just let it go. You set yourself free. You've set yourself free.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jesus, and thank you, Joe, and thank you, everybody. And uh, what a wonderful opportunity, what a wonderful gift we get to bring to the world. Um, and Lester Levinson with a great story. There are so many examples of people who have stopped doing what they've been doing and done something new. It reminded me of the last line of the prayer of St. Francis, which is the way it's written down is, it is dying that we are born to eternal life. And what that means to me is that when we die to the old self, when what's old dies away, there's something new that's possible. We're born to that eternal possibility. Howard Thurman wrote, "Don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive and go do it, because what the world needs is people who have come alive." So we've done this healing process, transformation, where we get to set an intention for what's that newness that we're inviting in our lives. So if you'd like to give voice to whatever that newness is for you, then go ahead, wave your hand, and you get a chance to stand in front of the world and say, "This is the new grand version of me." And if you don't want to, that's okay too. Go ahead, Robin.
My new version is a new chapter and not being afraid of getting out of my comfort zone, pushing myself to live the life I deserve and the life that I want with nothing holding me back, and health problems aside, forging ahead. Thank you very much.
That is quite a story. That is quite a new story that you're telling. That's awesome. Congratulations and thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, Christine Joy.
Um, let me lower my hand. Guys, me know I'm working on it.
I can do that.
Cool, awesome, thank you.
You just turn the camera on. We take care of the rest of it.
Yeah. So I am I'm grateful and healing through, diving deep into my spiritual beliefs and in practitioner class. I'm enjoying praying with the practitioners and the guidance. I'm enjoying the connection with prayer partners, and I'm got an opportunity to pray with somebody outside of the New Thought community, who I've been staying in touch with. So that's beautiful, and I thank everybody for their prayers for my health situation, because it looked really bleak, and then I decided not to give it any legs, and then really dived into Louise Hay and others Florence Scovel Shin, and so like I had a bunch of tests coming back, not good, not good, not good, more extensive tests, and like the more extensive tests, the lungs, my heart, my vascular system, all good. All the doctors expected a clot and a stent issue, and there's nothing there. I've been really working on, wholeness and good health thoughts, and knowing that everybody's prayers are with me. And like, as far as I'm concerned, they've worked. So that's a work story for me, and I'm thankful.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you, Christine. Yeah, and you don't need to have a life-threatening challenge like Lester Levinson did to have that transformation. Things can be going along great and then get even better. Those things are also possible. Anybody else want something? Have something that you'd like to share with us? Okay. Well, let your candle burn and let your light shine and let the possibilities unfold, and let us know next week. I'm gonna turn it over to Karen, who's going to lead us in the offering.
New Thought Philadelphia is all about spreading the love. Our community is supported by your contributions. The gift you help share the funds and our work in the world, and the way you shine your light spreads the love. We are grateful for every way you share. We don't have a basket today, but there is a donate button on the website to make a donation by credit card, PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. You can also mail a check to our office in Ardmore. The offering affirmation will be on there it is on the screen, and we'll say the affirmation together. I
I
live
live in an abundant universe. I am one with the infinite source of all good.
I am
I am a center of conscious prosperity.
Enjoy the richness.
I enjoy the richness of life.
I
I
bless
bless my gift.
Gratitude and
share
My gift with gratitude and joy.
that as I give,
I do receive.
and so it is.
And so it is. Oh, thank you, Karen. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. It is wonderful having you here. Anna, can you do one more?
Sure.
Excellent.
Give me a word, give me a sign. Show me where to look, tell me what will I find? What will I find? Lay me on the ground or fly me in the sky. Show me where to look, tell me what will I find? What will I find? Oh, heaven, let your light shine down. 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 Love is in the water, love is in the air. Show me where to look, tell me will love be there? Will love be there? Teach me how to speak, teach me how to share. Teach me where to go, tell me will love be there? Will love be there? Oh, heaven, let your light shine down. 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 me where to look, tell me what will I find? What will I find? Lay me on the ground or fly me in the sky. Show me where to look, tell me what will I find? What will I find? Oh, heaven, let your light shine down. 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 Heaven, let your light shine down. Heaven, let your light shine down.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you all. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, everybody who participated in the celebration. Thank you, everybody who is here and everybody who is joining us on YouTube later. I'm so grateful for the wonderful way that this community comes together. Let's wrap up with another cacophony. Go ahead and unmute your microphone so you can repeat after me. I am love.
I am love.
I am light.
I am light.
I'm light.
My candle is burning.
My candle
is burning.
My healing is happening.
My
healing is happening.
And I am transformed.
And
I am
transformed.
transformed.
And so it is.
So it is.
So it is.
So it is.
Ooh, thank you all so much.
Hey,
Benjamin, welcome. Where are you joining us from?
I'm in Brazil.
You're in Brazil?
Oh, wow.
Awesome. In a hammock.
yeah.
Yes, most of the time.
Beautiful. Well, I'm glad you found us and welcome.
Thank you.
I've been to Brazil and I know those nice hammocks and the afternoon naps that take place. I love it.
Best.
Yeah. And just getting into springtime there. So now I'm jealous.
Nice.
October starts soon.
Yes.
Everybody ready? Okay.
What happened to July?
Exactly.